So we were gone for about a week. Um, haven't really taken a good look at the garden. I've had the dog out and done a few things, but I haven't taken a good look. I thought we'd do that together. I did have somebody water in a couple spots, but I also got decent rainfall where we were gone. So I figured we'd go around, take a look, see what it looks like after coming back. Originally, I was going to also do a video before I left, but I just lost track of time and was kind of lazy and didn't get it done. So we're just going to see what it looks like now that we're back. And we'll start over here today with where the watermelon and the kale and everything is. And it seems to have done pretty well. Over on this side, this guy's going to have to go. Looks like it got rotted. I don't know. No, I thought someone maybe eaten at it first, but it did not. Um, I see see a new melon in there that I will need to mark, and we will do that. Um, So yeah, this part isn't too bad so far. Just coming around the other side, looks like we finally got some pimentos going. That's good. Looks like this one may have also gotten a rotten spot. That sucks. I was really looking forward to that one. Pick this one up and check, and same thing. Got a rotten spot. Looks like the bugs have been in there. I'll pull those out and throw them in the compost. So that's not a good sign for our hopes for watermelon in the future. But the lettuce and the kale seem to be doing fine. I'll do a deep dive in here too to make sure there aren't some new fruit anywhere. Um, but yeah, pretty happy with this. And this is one of the things that had to be watered. So that's good. The grapes here are doing fine. We're in a transitional period with the driveway garden in general. There's some zinnias here and there. Um, Finally got some more sunflowers. Looks like they've suffered in the heat. This wasn't really watered either, so they just got whatever rain. But yeah, a nice big sunflower, just kind of suffering in the heat. We'll go through the orchard real quick. There's really, everything's still alive. It's good. Still have those apples going. Um, they don't look perfect, but I didn't expect them to. But they're still here. That's the important part. This leaf rust, I need to cut some of that out. And we'll do that. That was part of the plan. Anyway, when I return was to prune the orchard. To be pruned in the summer to kind of keep the height down. I cut back those boxes just a little while ago. What was dead in them. Hopefully they'll come back. They should. But yeah, that's part of my work for this week is I want to prune because we see how tall that tree has gotten, and we don't want it that tall. We want to be able to reach it, or at least Io should be able to reach them from the ground. So we'll cut them back down. This is the time of year to do that. These zinnias are doing nice though. They've been doing nice. They were doing nice before we left. So we're looking forward to that. But yeah, all the trees are alive. Nothing over here was really watered. It usually gets enough shade. But it looks like the bags are doing really well. I know she was a little worried about how everything would do in the bags, but it seems like they did well. I know she mulched a lot of those with weeds and other clippings. So that's good. The shade garden, that fern is suffering, it looks like. Few things are suffering. The deer got a hold of a few things too, the hydrangeas and stuff. But the hostas seem to be doing pretty well. Our trees seem to be doing pretty well. That pawpaw down there is doing well. We'll take a look at this one down here as we go through. That hydrangea is doing well. That's good. This guy, oh, we got some kind of fungus going on there. I'm gonna have to look that up and see what that is, and if I just need to cut that out or what. But yeah, that's probably not something I want. So we'll take a look at taking care of that. This fern is coming back after everything died back. That's what's happened with a few of them. Things have died back and then they've come back. This one's coming back too. But yeah, the pawpaws are doing pretty well. Blackberries have been done, of course. Well, I say that. walk over here, and it looks like we have some fresh fruit in a couple spots. So that's a nice little surprise. Maybe we'll get the odd blackberry or two again this year. But really for these, I'm thinking, we're worrying about next year. See how they do. Still letting the asparagus kind of go until it all browns, and we'll cut back. The celery, not doing too bad, I don't think. So far, it probably has needed more water than it's got. It was also not part of the watering. The watering was 3 areas. I've already shown you one. I'll show you the others in a minute. Lots of flowers on the squash, and I'm seeing some squash down there. It's like a patty pan. We'll have to go through this when I don't have the camera and see what there is to pick. I'm sure there's some. I picked a giant tromboncino a minute ago just because I saw it. I was out here taking stuff to the compost and thought, was like, I better grab that now. We'll go around here. This box is doing really well. Again, it's not something they had to water. They might have watered it anyway. The basil's doing great as well. Got a nice looking eggplant down there. I'm not sure if he'll be ready yet or if he can go a little bigger. We'll see. Not going to pick anything while I'm filming. I'll come back after this and pick some. But some tomatoes looking good. Well, we might pull that guy. Yeah, that guy's done. He's not too well. He went too long. But yeah, I pulled a big tromboncino off here. I mean, when I say big, I mean like 2 feet long. Pumpkins are continuing their takeover. That's good. That's what we want. They'll continue to take over this little area. These flowers are coming along nicely. The ice plant. Got some cannas and stuff in there as well. The grapes, growing from last year's doing well. Kind of just letting this grow down. I don't know. I might try to train it up and across. But we'll see. We'll see how much more it grows. But once they met in the middle, I stopped trimming these 2 plants. So I wanted to make sure they met in the middle, and they have. So I'm just kind of letting them grow a little wild now. Like, again, I don't expect grapes, but we'll see what happens. I could be wrong. This trial tomatoes seem to be doing all right. This is one of the places I wanted watered while I was gone. I'm also trialing. I put some weave and some of the stuff where I cut back the black-eyed Susies around here on about half this. And then the other half is just some grass clippings and stuff. These need to be weeded. Looks like both of them need to be weeded. But I'm also not sure. I need to check out. Like, I don't think that's not something I would normally consider a weed. I don't think. I need to double check it. So we'll do that before I pull that out and see what's kind of coming up here. But we'll see. This is actually the only place I've had weeds from the stuff that I pulled out. So we'll see how it goes. And then over here, this bed is doing still pretty well. None of the coleus is filled in like I really wanted them to. That Persian shield is not growing like any other Persian shield I've grown. It's interesting, but sorry, I like it. I probably could have pruned it back and made it more bushy, but I just didn't want to do that. Need to do some weeding in here. You can see my Spanish flag has come up. Have started blooming. Those have not been as large as I thought they were. Maybe they'll get a little bigger, but I mean, that's just good advertising on the package. The package made them seem like those blooms would be much bigger. Maybe they're supposed to be. I don't know. Really don't know anything about them other than I just saw the seeds and bought them. That's about it. Trying to up here train this to go across. Probably should have done more of that as it was coming up, but I did not. But I want these to kind of come across, and maybe we'll get some fill in over here on the other part of this trellis. I mean, the trellis itself is I like how it looks. I like that rusty reused look, but it just needs more vegetation on it. And, we'll work on that next year. This bed has done really well as a flower bed. One of my better, I think one of our better successes this year was converting this to a flower bed after trying to grow some, edibles in there, and it's like you really can't take care of that. And I was like, that's a flower bed. That's what that should be. Even though there is like that tomato is from last year that either never grew or self-seeded some tomatoes after. Not 100% sure which. But let's take a look in the garden, which is the other part that was supposed to be watered. Obviously, this is the most important part of the garden. This is why I always think about the veggie garden proper, even though we grow veggies in other spots. These brassicas could look a little better. Like some bug damage and stuff, but still, they're there. They're not dead. That fennel is continuing to go crazy and falling over. We'll see how much longer before she lets me cut that back. Probably not until the bees stop eating on it, but we'll see. We'll see almost see what else is in the way of. These peppers are coming along quite nicely. Got a little guy there. So that's good. Some other peppers. I guess I need to get out here and pick peppers. There's quite a lot of peppers here that need to come. So those, I'm not sure if they're serranos or they're the Hungarian wax peppers. They're named by Mark. I'm sure they did, but I'm also sure it's disappeared. We'll find out the fun way of how spicy they are. In here, not a whole lot going on at the moment on this side of this bed. These are doing quite well. We got some more peppers that need to be picked, and those are spicy. I know those are spicy. I just look at them and know like that is spicy. Not even going to test one. But yeah, can we find a little one? No, we didn't find one little enough that I'm brave enough to bite into. That blueberry plant's doing nicely, even though we're done with fruit from it. In here, the radishes are still coming. These over here are my longer term, like my daikon type stuff. And over here is supposed to be some of the quicker radishes, and they aren't really ready yet, though, which is surprising. I thought they would have been. The cucumbers we have been trying, and they have not been doing well. Obviously, there's a tomato in there. Probably self-seeded. Doing okay. Peas over here are doing well. We also switched sides this year. Like last year, this was peas and this was cucumbers, and maybe there's something about this side that holds water better and the cucumbers do better. But yeah, a few radishes down in here, as you can see, doing pretty well. But yeah, the second planting of peas is doing all right. We actually pulled up all the beans in here. They were done. They were spent. And so we pulled them up and she planted some new ones. It's like it needs to be weeded, but I don't see a whole lot of new bean growth in there. Looks like the pond has done well while we were gone. I still need to put something in there. But yeah, looks like it's doing well. I'm real happy with the pond in general, as I've said many times, but especially even around it, like the coleus, if we planted around this, those were in pots for a long time. I felt like too long, but they have done really well. And part of it I'm wondering is I'm sure there's a microclimate here where it's a little wetter around the pond, and that has helped. But yeah, I'm real happy with how this has done. That coleus has been magnificent. I was looking for the frogs. There are two of them now, or there were when I left. There were two, but I do not see them. Dragonflies, of course, are still here and doing pretty well, so I'm glad about that. But yeah, I'm real happy with the pond. There's a lot of work I still want to do, but as far as vegetation goes, it has done way better than I expected. So I can't help but be happy, and the vegetation is keeping it cool and keeping the water clear in the places where you can tell there's water. There is very clear water, so that's good. And I guess the tomatoes are the big thing that's left. And they're doing pretty well. Looks like something got into this one. We're going to go ahead and pull that off and get rid of that. Well, no, we're not. I'll wait and come back. But I'll get that one down. But you can see they're grown up. Some of them probably need to be clipped in. Lots of these are like the Queen of the Night, which are the ones that like I saw in the seed catalog and was like, we must have those. We must grow the Queen of the Night, and that one just came right off. But I really just love the orange and the black. Quite a few of these that are ready to be picked is good. We'll pick them once I'm done with this. But yeah, we're so far tomatoes. We always, like last year, our tomato crop really came in much later. But yeah, I really like this Queen of the Night. They look good and they taste delicious. They're among my favorites. So yeah, and the cherry tomatoes are coming in. A few of them are ripe and ready to go, and we'll get those. So yeah, real happy with things in the garden. Got to come out here and pick the flowers off the basil. I mean, it's not like we don't have enough basil and I couldn't just let this go to seed, but you know, I feel like there's no such thing as enough basil, if I'm being honest. The nasturtiums are kind of doing well, and these tomatoes are coming along, even though they're a little behind the others. They seem to be doing well. So yeah, all in all, returning, I'm happy. No complaints about the watering job. It seemed to have kept things really even. That's a big part of why I wanted someone watering, so that we were making sure that we didn't get a lot of uneven watering. Something got into that tomato. There was concern about hornworms and such. But yeah, so I'm pretty happy. That's kind of our walkthrough. Oh, almost forgot. Let's go take a look over at the keyhole and relax for a second. Not a whole lot new going on here, other than something came and knocked this daily over. I don't know if that was wind or something came along or something was chewing at the bottom. But yeah, the keyhole, not a whole lot of changes. It was not watered while we're gone. But it'll come back. Interesting to see how the keyhole looks in the fall. But yeah, that's it. That's the state of things after us being gone for about a week. And I guess that counts as our tour for the end of July, beginning of August. Lots of work to do. But at least everything didn't die while I was gone. So they did a good job. All right. That's it.